J. Cole is the latest to mention you. He raps in his song No Role Models. My only regret was too young for Nia Long.
He's really not too young. He just doesn't know it.
Right up until what happened with Kevin, but man, that's the NBA, man. You break up with a girlfriend, you get back with her. Same shit. You have your differences until you figure it out. Yeah.
Does it work?
Yeah, I mean, broke up with my wife a couple times. We still married. It works. Sometimes you need space to figure some things out. Just works, It is what it is.
Talk about it.
You are now tuned in to Above the Rim. Hoops talk for the streets.
Family, what's good? Welcome back to another edition of Above the Rim. Hoops talk for the streets. You already know how we do. Brought to you as always. This your host, Justin, aka Just Blaze. Family, you know the drill. To get in contact with me, you can always hit me up and follow me on Twitter at JustBlaze_513, on IG at JustBlaze513, on Facebook, search Above the Rim Podcast. Also, email the show as well, Above the Rim NBA Podcast at gmail.com. Tap in and leave the family a voicemail. The line is always open. That's 908-718-1592, family. If you want to support the show, if you love the content we bring in each and every week, best way you can do that is by copy your merch. Link is in my bio. Everything is on the Above the Rim website. There's also going to be new designs, new colors, new flavors dropping all before the season. Anything and everything is appreciated. It's all love on this side. Link is in my bio. Very easy to find. Like I said before, leave your boy a review on iTunes and Spotify. Check out the YouTube page as well for the visuals. A full episode will be up there as well. Hit that thumbs up, throw a flame in the comments, whatever it is you need to do. I don't care. As long as it's showing love, it's all good. Joining me this week, family. As you can see, my boy is in the building back again with me. Haven't been in the studio with each other for a long time now, a couple months now. But we fam, so we still connect outside of the studio. For my new listeners, you may need an introduction, but if you've been rocking with the Above the Rim show, you already know who this guy is right here. The Melo bodyguard himself, Rattle Kareem, a.k.a. Apologetic Reem, a.k.a. Rich Threads Reem. My boy Reemo, what's good, my brother?
What's up, man? Thanks for having me back again.
It's been a long time, my brother.
It's been a while, man.
That's what I'm saying, man. It's been a long time, but we back in full effect. The season is here. Make sure you guys are checking out his clothing line as well, richthreads.com for the new heat. Find him on Twitter at Let's Talk Hoops. And also on Instagram at Rich Threads also as well. Media Day, my brother, is finally here. Training camp, preseason is finally here, which means the season is right around the corner. How you feeling about it, man? You hype about the season or what?
Man, listen, all the drama that been going on all season is like a soap opera more than it was off season. Like KDs and the LeBrons. LeBron ain't done nothing last year, and every day.
You know he's in the news every day, every week.
So draining.
What it is. Yeah.
La Russ talk. I don't know what was going on.
See, I'm glad
there.
you brought up the drama, because that's why I'm calling the episode the NDA. It's the National Drama Association.
Facts.
Man. The whole summer, there was so much drama without anything even happening during the summer.
Gotta give him a soap hour.
Come on.
ABC at noon.
Days of our lives going on right now in the NBA, man. So, like we said before, Media Day came and went. Now it's training camp going on right now. Preseason coming up shortly. And shout out to all my brothers wearing chain chokers, gold chains on the Media Day. I don't know if you noticed that. There was a plethora of chain chokers, gold chains on Media Day. And we love to see it, man. So let's get into it, man. Media Day observations. Now, we got to start up this show because there's an elephant in the NBA room. There's an elephant in all of NBA media circles, NBA talking circles, all of that. We got to talk about the Boston Celtics. Got to talk about the Ime Udoka situation and the basketball fallout out of that too, because obviously everyone heard the news by now. Not all the details are out, but they're still coming out in bits and pieces. Ime Udoka, the Boston Celtics first-year coach, has been suspended for a whole season. Suspended for a whole season for what they're calling a inappropriate relationship with a Celtics team staffer. So still, obviously, still nobody knows.
Which is still unnamed.
Unnamed. Still, no one knows the full details of everything that's going on. We only know that Ime Udoka is attached to the situation. We obviously know he did something wrong, but we don't know to the extent of what it is that he did. So all we do know is that he won't be on the sidelines this year for a team that just went to the NBA Finals, and they are going to have to deal with some of the consequences that comes with that decision of suspending him for a year. So very unfortunate news. One of my personal favorite coaches in the NBA, especially from last year, and he's going to be replaced by a 34-year-old Joe Mazzulla, right? Got Gallo out for majority of the year, Time Lord out for 8 to 12 weeks. Reemo, talk to me, my brother. How does this abrupt coaching change affect the team going into this year, and what are your thoughts on the whole situation as a whole?
Let's start off with the situation itself. Right? I think the Celtics did a disservice with themselves by actually leaking what took place.
Yes.
Without giving the details, and then suspending him publicly about sexual orientations in the workspace. But anybody that worked in a workspace, they usually know if I go to management and I get reprimanded for whatever, it's personal information.
Yeah.
You cannot splurge what took place in it. So I don't know if it's a legal situation afterwards.
I think there are some legal ramifications in it, which is why they are not disclosing.
It's too late.
It is too late.
Because if I'm gonna accept the suspension, not a firing, you can't disclose my suspension unless I do in a workspace.
Yes,
Usually.
which to me is one of the issues, is the suspension rather than the firing. Because to me, I think it would be a lot easier and it would have made more sense on all sides if they were to just fire Ime Udoka.
It makes more sense. 'Cause you could put all the dirty laundry out.
Exactly. Fire him, because it seems like, to me, from the outside looking in, it seems like they're trying to embarrass him anyway, regardless of the fact. So
To make him quit almost.
So he could quit without pay, he could quit with some of the pay, partial pay, whatever the case may be. But it seems like they are going to move on for Ime regardless of the situation, regardless of whatever's going to happen. So why not fire the man? You know what I'm saying? So
See, the only thing with them trying to fire him, push him out, whatever the case is, to the basketball side now, it took them a while to actually find their traction, to find who was their leaders, who was the voice in the locker room. You know, but last year was a lot of, certain players have to sacrifice. Marcus Smart coming in telling you about Tatum and Brown choosing one-on-one versus me versus you basketball. They bought in as a team.
yes.
And at the end of the year, it showed a product where they won, 27 out of 30-something games.
Yeah, after January or whatever it was, they were the best
They
team
went
in
on
the
a
league.
hell of a run. They made it as young pups, they did make it to the NBA Finals. And you build off something like that with the same voices. And now you're going forward with a voice, but usually the assistant coach is somebody you lean on, but they're not demonstrative with their voice.
Yeah.
So it's like starting all over again. But the players that you did have that had trustworthy positions within the coaching staff and within the head coach, they kind of have to instill the trust of their new coach
Yes.
in the same roles.
I think vice versa. They both need to learn how to trust each other. in that way.
Correct.
Yeah. So there is definitely going to be a transition period, and a transition period of strategy, a transition period of scheme, and also just being used to hearing a new voice in the locker room. With the previous coaches, the problems are just not really solved. Like, if you saw the team when they were on media day, right? Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Marcus Smart, all of them said what? That they heard about the they heard about the allegation. They heard about the suspension on Twitter.
On Twitter, yes.
Like everybody else, which to me, I think is a problem. I think the team
should have went to the best players and let them know ahead of time.
Yeah.
Like, this is what's coming down the pipeline. Because Udoka did know prior to, and he refused to tell his lady what was coming down the pipe. A lot of drama.
Which is a lot of drama, and a lot of unnecessary drama that goes into, because now we're talking about drama now rather than, this is beyond basketball. Now this is becoming a personal issue, just basically a dark cloud above the team starting the season, going into media day, going into training camp. And also the worst part is the questions are still unsolved.
forget all of that.
Mm-hmm.
Personal relationships.
Yes.
Udoka's my dog. That's my coach. I run hard. I run through a wall for him.
Yes.
Right? You treating him a certain way publicly. I don't like it. I might give pushback as a player.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm not buying into this new system.
Yeah.
And if things start going left, I'm paid already. Trade me.
Yeah. Yo, thank you. So thank you for bringing that up, because that's one of the points that I wanted to bring up as far as adapting to a new coach, adapting to a new scheme, whatever it is that Joe Mazzulla wants to implement into the team strategy. Now, I don't want to say I'm predicting this, but I would not be surprised, brother, if either or Jason Tatum or Jaylen Brown midway through the season, maybe even at the end of the season, they may not even be that abrupt and do it mid-season. Maybe at the end of the season, if they don't get to the finals, they have a rough exit maybe in the playoffs, and then they always start leaking out things in the team, what was going on throughout the team throughout the year. I wouldn't be surprised if by the end of the year they say, listen, I don't like the way you guys, the organization, the Celtics organization, handled my coach, my favorite coach. I don't like the way you guys handled this whole entire year, and I really felt like an employee rather than your star player. And because of that, maybe I want to see greener pastures elsewhere. I wouldn't be surprised if Jason Tatum or Jaylen Brown end up requesting a trade at the end of the season because they just feel disconnected from the organization.
I don't even think it would take that much. I think a simple, you giving me a few less shots in the rotation. Or
you think it's that volatile in the locker room?
Not even that volatile, but like I bought into what was working. And now you asking me to defer on something that I don't know the outcome of.
So do you think
Marcus Smart is now probably going to come off the bench? The starter last year.
Yeah, I don't think he'll do it. I don't think he's going for that.
You request Jason Tatum to take 5 more shots from Brown. How do you feel about that? Brown already knew that they chose Tatum over him at some point in time this summer.
And who's also a little agitated with him being in the KD rumors also as well all summer.
And Tatum is deemed as the voice of the locker room now, or self-anointed as well. So it's a lot of moving parts, and this is just another bad karma for Boston.
I know, man, and it's sad because they are just coming off a finals run. They finally went over the hump of going into the Eastern Conference Finals a couple of years and finally getting to the finals now last year, and then they hit a real speed bump. So, with that being said, Gallo's probably going to be out their entire year pretty much. Time Lord is going to be out 8 to 12 weeks. He might not be back until a little bit before All-Star break. You're looking at the rotation. They picked up Brogdon. They still got Derek White. You have Al Horford now as your main big, primary big. You're pretty much your only center. Behind him, you got Luke Cornett, or you have Grant Williams, a short Grant Williams.
Got rid of Tice.
Now he's not there. So, Reem, I'm going to ask you, looking at this lineup now, the coaching change, the uncertainty going into the season now, do you still look at Boston as a top 3 team or a top 3 team in the East going into the season? Do they take any drop-off with this coaching change?
But they were number 1 last year,
They were
right?
2 seed last year.
So who, Miami?
Yeah, to Miami.
Okay.
Miami kind of downgraded a little bit. They just lost PJ Tucker.
I say still flirt with the top 3. I like Cleveland a lot.
As a top 3 over the Celtics? Ooh. Well, we going to get to Cleveland, so that's a little spice.
No, they didn't lose anything.
Who? Cleveland?
Cleveland didn't lose really anything.
Nothing substantial.
What's Larry?
Markkanen and Sexton wasn't playing anyway, so
exactly.
they didn't lose.
You have Garland already.
And it's an upgrade going from Markkanen to Donovan Mitchell.
And then there's hope for jerk chicken on Flatbush once again. It's like we won't get to that. And then you still got the Bucks.
So do you think Celtics? Because going into the season now, they're the favorite in the East. Vegas odds, sportsbooks odds, they're the favorite right now.
Not with that.
You don't think they're the favorite?
Because you got Horford for another.
Horford is your primary big right now.
That's what I'm saying. You got another. You don't know what Time Lord needs because he already struggled in the playoffs last year. So you might want to give him some time for that to really heal properly. And then Gallo, he was supposed to be kind of like your bench juggernaut.
That's a disappointing loss.
And I think they could have picked up Melo in that situation, but I mean that's a whole nother subject. But they didn't replace that production. So you're back to your main 2 guys again.
Yeah.
Whatever Brogdon is going to bring you.
And what Brogdon is
He's solid.
He's a starting caliber guard, I would say.
He's
and he's
productive.
going to be coming off the bench as a six man in a combo guard role. So he is going to be productive. He's going to help them a lot this season, but he does have injury concerns, health concerns. He has pretty much every year. He's got something going on with him. So he can't be relied upon, but
my question in that whole conglomerate of bringing Brogdon in is he allowed to take shots away from the big two? Because he is damn near a 40% three-point shooter.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, we definitely don't know now with the coaching change because we don't know what Joe Mazzulla's strategy is.
We don't know what whose system is, but say like he takes an attachment to him and he deems him like the Billups.
Yeah.
Is that going to be, reciprocated from the other two?
Those are questions that need answers right there. How about this? Before we move on, I'm going to throw this out. What do you think about a center that I think maybe could help them out? How about DeMarcus Cousins going over there in Boston? How do we think about that? You think they can help out? He can help out their center rotation. Another guy who can play 15 to 20 minutes.
Boogie's pretty solid, right? My question with Boogie would be now, is him under a young head coach, a rookie head coach. He's very volatile. He's like...
But you don't think he's humble by now? He's been on, 5 teams now in 5 years?
And guess what? The texts don't stop wherever he go.
Yeah.
He's still the same big snarling dude. Like, that hasn't ended. So, my thing is, for somebody who... He probably would be better off with like a pop. Somebody that'd be like, yo,
yeah. I can get rid of like a strong nose. Where was he on? Denver last year, right?
Yeah, he was at Denver.
Mike Malone. Yeah, he's a strong.
But he played for him in Sacramento.
Yes. Oh, yes, exactly. Yeah, so he was already familiar with him. It had like a kinship,
yeah.
I feel like he will be solid on this team in the interim until Time Lord does return. But he has to be willing to take that step back whenever Time Lord does return.
But I would like Biggie in Brooklyn better.
That would be solid for them, but I don't feel like he really protects the rim enough, and that's really what they need. But he could still fit there.
He's a big body.
He's a big body.
Claxton isn't.
Yeah, we might as well get to them. That. So, Celtics top 3 seed in the East still?
I go 3 or 4. 3-4.
Well, remember the East is pretty tough at the top too. So 3 or 4 is not really that much of a drop off anyway. We could go top 4. I still think they are a top 4.
Who's your top 4 in the East before we go on?
76ers.
Go ahead.
We gonna talk about that. The 76ers, the Milwaukee Bucks. Toss up between the Celtics and the Nets. So those are my 4. 76ers, Bucks, Celtics, Nets. My top 4 in the East. Yeah. Miami drops out. Cleveland not there yet. Bulls drop out.
Cleveland was there the whole time last year.
I know, but they didn't make the playoffs.
Before the injury.
Yeah, they were. But then they dropped off towards the end of the year.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, they were.
Just do them 20-something points.
That is true. But I got to see the chemistry. I got to see how they look, see how they fit. They have a couple of injury concerns there as well. So we'll see how that rocks out. Let's talk about the Nets, man. Let's get into the Nets because they had one of the basically most sought after media days this year. KD, Kyrie, Ben Simmons all had a lot of things to say on their media day. KD basically said he has nothing left to prove Reem after his trade request. Kyrie sounded like he was just kind of winging it for this season. Whatever happens type of attitude. Ben Simmons went on the mic and he said he's good to go pretty much 100% and that he might even shoot some threes. He might play some center this year. And so let's talk about the Nets, man. My question for them is, are the Nets all in this season? Me judging them from the media day body language, I wasn't really feeling it for the most part, but I feel I'm pretty 50-50 on the Nets body language. I think they're saying all the right things. I think they're doing all the right things. But I don't think that's exactly what's in their head, what they're showing to the media and what they're all showing to the fans. So from your vantage point, do you feel like the Nets are all in going into this year after seeing them in media day, training camp, going into the preseason now? How you feel about them?
I think they got a lot to prove. I know KD got a lot of pride.
Yes.
So like getting swept and being the only team that ended up getting swept.
That's crazy.
with what they had on paper versus what they presented, what they could have presented due to injuries, due to Profit not being in for so many. I think they got a lot to prove, and they might come in with a focused mind frame. Let's say cliche Kobe mentality, Mamba mentality. Like, you know what I'm saying? I think it's their time, because KD been there for what? 3 years now?
3 years now, yeah.
And he hasn't really done anything there.
He hasn't had a crazy year yet, really.
He's had a good personal scoring year or whatever, but
it's typical KD shit, though.
Yeah, but it's not like his effect on the team aspect of it and the results of what being a talent like KD is. I don't think he's put his stamp on New York, period.
Yeah.
Being like he didn't want to go to New York, but the results is kind of like,
You think him being in Brooklyn these past 3 years is still like a stopover point in KD's career, or like he hasn't
like a
made
stopgap to someplace else?
Yeah, like he hasn't made that statement in Brooklyn yet. He definitely hasn't had the statement playoff run yet. We know that.
He hasn't done anything to make another stop. Because now the questions in the media is now, what has he done since he left Steph? And what has he done before he teamed up with Steph? So it's kind of like he kind of has a point to prove, actually.
Yeah, at this stop.
Before he goes anyplace else, he has to do something substantial. Because you got lost to the Young Pups, got swept by the Young Pups, and they ended up in the finals.
Yeah, that's why I think they should be coming in with a killer mentality from jump.
Matter of fact, not only did he lose to them, he got locked up. He was getting his shit punched all over the place. Like it was kind of crazy to look at.
Yo, crazy. It was embarrassing, son.
Because he was going at Giannis the year before.
Bruh.
Big foot away, or whatever the case was.
A big toe away from getting to that Eastern Conference Finals.
And then he got swept up.
They were embarrassed, brother. After them having such a great game one. Remember in TD Garden, they had that great game one. Kyrie was flipping the bird to the fans and all of that. Yeah. He had a very great game. A lot of media attention. And then after that, it just went downhill little by little, game by game. And like you said, KD or Kyrie, I feel like hasn't had that full stamp yet, that full stamp season, that full stamp playoff run yet. In Brooklyn, we see KD, he only played 90 games in 3 years for the team. KD and Kyrie together, they only played 58 games, almost 60 games together in a possible 3 years. That's a little crazy.
Ben Simmons missed a year.
Ben Simmons missed a whole year. He basically, he quit on the team last year. I'm not gonna hold you. I didn't like how he came here and didn't at least attempt to play.
I get why he did it though.
Why?
It was a financial thing.
Okay, yeah. I'm actually forget about that. Yeah,
say your management tell you like, yo, listen, you got to sit out if you want
in order to get this bread back. Yeah.
Bread, yeah, all right. It's a claim is a claim. I get that part.
Yeah.
The thing that we both you and I are missing right now, it's not really about the players. There's talent all up and down that roster. It's the man on top of the hill giving out the play calls. Are you buying into Steve Nash as the coach? Is my question to you.
Me? No. The players? No. I don't think there's any trust between the players and the coach, which is Steve Nash.
But it seemed to be no synergy between the player, coach, and management at one point.
Yes, I think. Well, obviously, I feel like through the reporting and through the rumblings throughout the summer with KD requesting the trade, basically KD, they said he wanted Sean Marks, the GM, and he wanted Steve Nash to both be out, be gone. So now to me, I feel like you can come back from that slightly. Like only if you're winning, you're going on a hot streak, like winning cures all, right? But if there's a point in time in the season where there's a 3-game losing streak, 5-game losing streak, people get a little tight. Say, for instance, there's a 3-game losing streak, and then there's an injury to a key guy. Not KD, maybe not Kyrie, maybe to Ben Simmons. There's an injury to him, or they go back tightness, and they're worried about his health in the long term, and they start sitting him out a little bit, then they start slipping in the standings a little bit. Now, I feel like KD already in his mind is saying,
told y'all.
This is not the guy. And then, actually, in a terrible way, actually makes him look good or makes him look right if Steve Nash doesn't do a great job this season. So I don't think the trust factor is at a full 100% between the players and the coaching staff. And that, to me, I think ultimately will rear its ugly head when it gets to crucial moments and playing against elite teams. It won't show up against the regular teams, but against elite teams, I feel like it's going to show up somehow.
My observation of the whole summer was they didn't give a shit what KD was.
Yeah.
Right? The only reason KD is there because they weren't willing to trade him wherever he wanted to go because they didn't get what they wanted for a talent like KD. KD. Right?
They didn't get the right package that they liked.
I don't think management or anything cared about any of the players. Needs and wants. Nobody wanted Kyrie.
Yeah.
You want to go look for a new spot? Go ahead.
I
Take
think
the
they
freedom.
gave them the okay.
Go find you a signing offer and we'll match it or we'll accept it, acquiesce to trade, whatever you want. No suitors. Right? So we're going into this like, this is my GM, I am the owner, and this is your head coach.
Yeah.
What do you want to do?
Which means there's no synergy in between your top players and management,
exactly,
ownership, coaching staff.
The GM don't give a shit about the top player because you're supposed to kind of give the top player his wants and requests.
Yeah, or some type of say, some type of leeway, but then he kind of relinquished that when he didn't want to be here too, KD.
Yeah, and they kind of gave him what he wanted because he wanted Nash.
Yeah.
He wanted DeAndre Jordan.
Yeah, they wanted those guys. Initially, they gave KD and Kyrie exactly what they wanted. They've been here for the 3 years and they haven't delivered a championship, not even a conference finals appearance. So they are at odds.
And the seeding record, or whatever, the attendance record was
it was terrible.
It was terrible last year.
So
they didn't make no money.
Yeah, exactly. So with that being said, we brought up Steve Nash. Does Steve Nash last a year in Brooklyn? What do you think? This is a tough one. Do you think he lasts a year? Because if they do make a coaching change, it would probably have to be by mid-season or early in the season.
Think of they fall behind. They fall to like that play-in range by mid-season.
You think so?
Or if they run a early out the gate 3-10, he's gone.
Damn, you think I don't think they would start that bad. 3-10 is crazy for a team with that type of talent.
They're now learning to play with each other.
Heads are rolling. If they start 3-10, heads are rolling. Heads are rolling. There might even be a trade request.
You gotta remember, Joe Harris is still coming off of surgery.
Yes.
He's back, ready.
Yes, but he still has to work himself in.
Seth is not ready to play.
Yep, he's gonna.
We lost Brown,
which is I think is a major loss. I said on Twitter
because he's the glue guy. He's kind of the PJ.
Yes. What about his replacement, Royce O'Neal? Do you think he's an adequate replacement for Bruce Brown?
No, he doesn't give him the same effort and the same because he could not shoot the whole game and not care.
Yeah. Bruce Brown will give you some buckets from time to time. He'll give you 10 to 15.
He'll give you a quick spurt.
Yeah, we'll give you a quick 6 points, spurt.
But his role is to be a disruptor on the end of the court. I don't really see.
And he played his role well. I like that. He was aggressive too.
And they kind of played him in an undersized Williams type role for Boston. Like, get out and run. But no, are they ready to evolve the
Cam Thomas?
Yeah, are they ready to give him an extended? He's a scorer. He's a bucket. I watch this kid. He's a bucket. Like,
is that what they need? They may need that off the bench, actually. I actually think he should get some more minutes this year. I think they should increase his minutes a little bit. I think some ball handling duties they should give him. But the problem is they don't have... Nah?
Looking to score.
He is
looking to pass, though.
Well, you got to give him that microwave off the bench type role then.
Yeah.
8th, 9th man off the bench.
Let him do what he does, but you got to utilize what you have.
That's true.
Because as good as Seth shoots, he tends to disappear.
He does.
For like 4 or 5 games.
He does. You know what I mean? He does. Patty Mills tends to disappear sometimes too.
Playoffs, where was he? Patty who?
Yeah, Patty.
Patty.
I don't know where the Aussie was at. I don't know where and now the elephant in the room for the Nets roster is their center rotation. Nicholas Claxton, Day'Ron Sharp. That's not gonna get it. That's not gonna get it done.
There's still Boogie out there. There's still a Dwight.
Oh yeah, Dwight's still available. Dwight might work.
Still a couple bodies out there.
Dwight maybe could work.
Just need somebody to clog the middle, be physical. Yeah. Claxton is like, he's a high energy guy. He can run the lanes or whatever, but gotta send him out there with quarters in his pocket. Lighting the ass.
Yeah, he is light. And also, Ben Simmons got to play some center. He got to play some center. I've been saying it from last year. He's got to play center in crucial moments, and I think he's got to play center in late game situations and late game lineups, because I think their best lineup is with Ben Simmons at the 5, KD at the 4, either Royce O'Neal or I can't include TJ Warren, maybe Joe Harris.
Oh, hold on. Before you get too far.
What's that?
That is the most hyped signing all season.
Who that?
TJ Warren. Like, he played crazy in the bubble. Everybody played good in the bubble. Come on, let's be serious.
He was bubble boy.
He was bubble boy.
Yeah.
But guess what? He didn't play since then.
Yeah, I know. What's it been? 2 years now? 2 years, some change.
See nothing from him. So
yeah, I don't know why they putting so much hype on this sign. And he's not even ready.
Still?
He's not ready. He's not ready to go open tonight. They say he might be out until mid-November.
They ain't want to sign.
I know. They even want to give Melo a shot, man. The Nets, they in for something, man. Listen, they had a hell of a media day. They're having a hell of a training camp. And I'm going to see how they look preseason, man, because they have some kinks to work out in this lineup, man. So let's move on. The Lakers out there in LA. They had an interesting media day. Patrick Beverley is now best friends with Russell Westbrook now. AD says basically he has nothing to prove this season. Russ had some co-worker comments. LeBron was basically talking about all his upcoming milestones going into the season, talking about passing Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's record, passing Magic Johnson's assist record. And the standout quote for me, media day for the Lakers, had to be Russ. Basically saying, I mean, you all have jobs. Sometimes people at our jobs don't like us or don't want us there, as you guys can probably at least attest to on any level job across the world. Some people at our jobs just don't like us or maybe don't want us to be there. What were your thoughts when you heard that comment for Russ? And what's Russ's mentality right now going into the season?
You know, Russ is real hurt.
He is.
More than
his
anything.
Pride. Ego.
Skip Bayless been on his ass all summer long.
He got to chill out with the chase.
They've been playing with his name, his family name, and, you know, I get it.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, like, Russ has been the same player every stop he's been at.
Yes.
It's the same
and he's
turnovers.
been to a few stops now.
It's just that he's getting older and they just asking for less of Russ.
Mm-hmm.
And if you blame anybody, gotta blame LeBron for bringing him there.
It was his call.
So you asked for this and they're not willing to give way more to get like you
they gotta
asked for
pretty
this.
much attach a pick in order to
They wanted
offload
two.
Russ's contract. 2 picks. That's a little
to
crazy.
get rid of him.
$47 million.
And war was on the table, but
yeah. Well, the Lakers didn't want to give up that pick. That's really what it was.
I'd have gave up one for Wall.
I would have did that. I would have gave up one for
They got 35 guards over there.
I would have given. And now look, you see them signing Schroeder too, signing Patrick Beverley, adding to that. I don't know what's going on in that.
Can we get to it? What do you think of that offseason?
I don't like it.
What do you make of it?
I feel like I'm gonna give you one word for the Lakers offseason. Desperation.
Can you give me a grade letter?
A C+. Average.
I give it a D.
I'm not mad at you. I think it's average. So you think it's below average?
Because, all right, I had to watch it very
Do you want me to
close
go
last
over
year.
the pickups for this summer?
I know the pickups, Bryant's and all these other
All
bums.
right, well, I'll just go to before.
Go ahead, shoot.
Toscano, Troy Brown, Thomas Bryant, Lonnie Walker, Damian Jones, Broden Darvin Ham, Patrick Beverley. D plus.
All right. First off, let me ask you a question. Where does shooting come from?
That's what I was getting to.
So you
None
have
of
no
those guys are
you have
shooters.
no
Not
shoot-
one.
You have no shooters.
Still.
Free throws, nobody
Average
is knocked
still.
down. AD been terrible.
Mm-hmm.
LeBron is mid.
Mm-hmm.
Russ is
You don't know what you're going to get right now.
and then you're not expecting nothing from Pat Bev.
Mm-hmm.
We still don't know what none is.
Mm-hmm.
Hillbilly Kobe. He kind of stunting his growth, bringing all these players.
All these guys here playing.
Where's
ahead of
his
him now.
room
Yep.
with Lonnie Walker there?
Schroeder too.
Now you have Schroeder.
Yeah.
So like, I don't see where they're going. You already know AD is not a center.
Yeah. And he doesn't want to play center.
So who's the center they lean on?
Thomas Bryant, Damian Jones.
Come on now. What are you talking about? Now rate them.
Thomas Bryant, Damian Jones.
Yo, if I ever heard of and seen mid, it's mid.
This is, oh my God. So with that being said, now you have to rely a lot more on, and again, LeBron. And AD to step up.
Yeah, right. When the last time you seen him play a full season?
I know. You don't think this is the year now?
And the fact that he's saying like he's not putting any pressure on himself.
I don't like that.
It shouldn't be no pressure when you're that guy. At this time at this age, anybody who's been an Olympian, NBA champion at this age is ready for the big stage.
Do you think he's ready to acknowledge that he is the guy? To embrace it fully?
Why should he have to? At one point in time, we were talking AD, Giannis, and Joker. Let's lump Embiid in that.
Yes.
Each one of those names are MVPs.
Yes.
Or
and
MVP
got better.
calibers.
And got better. And stay on the floor.
And AD out of those three names is the fourth.
Yes. He's taking a step back out of those four. Absolutely. Absolutely. After winning a title, and maybe that's why. Well, Giannis didn't really take a step back after winning the title.
Giannis got hungrier.
He got hungrier. That's true. So I think for AD this year, if he's going to be playing the four, right? If they're going to be using Thomas Bryant, they're going to be using Damian Jones, whoever the case may be, he has to step up his three-point shooting. Because last year, I think he shot 20% from the three-point line,
19.
or under 20%, 19%, which is ridiculous. And the year that they won the championship, the year in the bubble, he was shooting 40% from three in the playoffs that year. And remember, he even hit a game winner against the Nuggets to, it was a game winner. It wasn't to bring them to the title, but it was to win a crucial game in that series, in the bubble. So his three-point shooting was on point. He was taking those shots willingly. So he has to step up his three-point shooting, and that to me is going to be the key, because if they can't space the floor, you've seen all of those pickups. AD might be your best three-point shooter right now. That's ridiculous.
That's a fact.
That's ridiculous.
That's scary. And then he tried
to
like clear up the air. Oh, I had a lingering wrist injury.
Wrist injury. I read that too. I don't want to hear those copping a plea.
Bruh, a wrist injury ain't got nothing to do with your legs. You still wasn't on court.
Is Russ and Pat Bev going to be able to coexist the whole season?
I actually like it though.
You like them together?
I like them together because that synergy with them two.
The aggression is what you like?
That fear. They can pressure mentally on a young backcourt.
Yeah, but you're not going to be playing a young backcourt in the playoffs. I don't like those two together at all.
Let's say Bane and
Ja.
Oh,
they're getting smoked. What?
So,
listen, I'm going to tell you my issues with that backcourt. I think my issues with that backcourt is
too small.
Over-aggression and mental mistakes is going to be the thing with that backcourt I think they're going to be over-aggressive because they're both aggressive players and they're going to be trying to match each other's intensity.
Together?
They're going to have to. They're going to start together. So that's why I think it's going to be over-aggression. And then because they're over-aggressive, I think they're going to make a lot of key mental mistakes in crucial moments because they're going to be over-aggressive. And then because I feel like LeBron is trying to take a step back somehow this year a little bit. So I think those two are going to be over-aggressive and I just don't like it.
What is it, 19?
Yeah, 20.
20? All right, let's think about it though. The grade D is perfect for them.
Yeah.
They lost everything that they needed and they dropped the ball on the trade. You didn't get rid of Russ. You didn't get Buddy Hield.
Don't like it.
You let Bojan Bogdanovic go to Detroit.
They didn't get any of the targets they were supposed to get this summer. Nothing. So it sounds like an incomplete offseason if you ask me. It looks incomplete.
F.
There it is. They might get an F.
That's it.
They might get an F. Let's talk about the Suns, man, because I'm going to try not to get too emotional on this segment because I have a lot of thoughts. I got a lot of feelings on the Suns. Let's talk about them because they're one of the most important teams on his media day as well. They also had a pretty eventful media day. They had 3 things going on. Ayton basically coming in the media day, training camp with a little attitude, coming in with a little toot about his contract. Robert Sarver being suspended for the year and basically being axed out, forced to sell the team now, which he's agreed to, which is going to be coming up on the horizon. And then Jay Crowder. My boy Jay Crowder, one of my favorite players in the league. I'm actually very tight about this. The nerve of Jay Crowder to ask out, Reem. First of all, before we start this segment, I got to call out Jay Crowder because requesting a trade? Jay Crowder requesting a trade? What year are we in? We're in 2022 when role players are requesting trades. What is happening right now in the NBA? And get this, requesting a trade because you're being told that you might have to take a little bit of a lesser role, that you might not start to begin the season, that you might have to be more of a vet this season, more of a pro this season. So that's why you want out? Reem, talk to me. What is your thoughts about Jay Crowder requesting a trade? I cannot believe I'm saying this right now. Messing up the team chemistry.
I don't even think it's Jay Crowder alone. Just think Suns might be allowing themselves to be a forgotten team in the West.
Disarray?
I think it's too much drama in a little town.
Yeah, but
Because-
it's like weird drama though.
But it's a lot of deserved energy that could have been avoided, right?
Definitely could have been.
That's big elephant in the room. Ayton.
Mm-hmm.
Ayton did not get his extension.
Mm-hmm.
It took
When
him
he
all-
wanted it.
He wanted to be there. He didn't feel like he was wanted back.
Yeah, I agree.
Him and Monty had a crazy blowout.
Yes.
At the end of the year, he got benched and they had a blow up on the bench.
Mm-hmm.
Little Wayne came and talked about it. It was crazy, right?
Yep.
But he came and said him and Monty have not spoken since that,
Which is crazy.
right? As an old head, as whatever, the man or the voice of the locker room,
Mm-hmm.
you gotta figure out a way. You know he's coming back now.
Mm-hmm.
To make
So you think Monty was more in the wrong over Ayton? You don't think Ayton should have reached out to Monty when he signed a contract and said...
He didn't have to if he might not have been there possibly.
But I'm saying when he got the contract, when he signed the contract, when they matched the offer, do you think...
They both should have. They both should have been able to sit at the table
I'm
and
with
clear that up.
I'm with
But
you on
to lead that into media day, for that to come out publicly, that's step one.
Yes, that was a
Right?
mistake.
CP3 as the veteran on that did not mediate.
Yes.
Another step.
Mm-hmm.
Booker,
Think CP should have did that though?
if he's coming back and he's most,
He should have called a big fella.
if anything, they're paying him to be the second most reliable player on that team.
Yes.
The CP is in year, what, 19 now? 18?
Yeah. 17, 18, one of them.
He's 37.
30, 37, 38. Mm-hmm.
It's his time to really pass the torch to the young guys.
I agree.
So you shouldn't be relying on CP.
Yeah, I agree.
So them signing him should be giving him the keys to the passenger seat.
And to solidify himself as a second option.
Let him sit in the front seat now. He get him out the
Yeah.
back seat now. It's his turn to sit in the front.
I agree.
Right? So you letting all of this time pass. Then you got the ownership situation.
Mm-hmm.
And then Crowder's just the icing on it. Because
This kills me, bruh.
what the media killed Melo and all these other vets for not accepting roles
Thank you.
at a later age, and you're saying publicly, I'm not willing to take a role.
At a later age.
And it's not like you're a world beater. Like you're asking Hall of Famers, Dwight Howard,
Mm-hmm.
Melo, and whoever
Kemba.
Vince Carter
Vince
did it
Carter,
every
yeah.
stop that he went to after
of
he was
people.
a star.
A bunch of people.
So how are you better than that?
First of all, I don't understand what Jay Crowder thinks he is.
PJ
That he
just
thinks he's...
He just got a boatload of money at an elder age for this same role.
He's taking a lesser role. He's the, fifth, sixth option on. His job is literally
and he's
be a
like-
defensive leader. That's it.
Right? He's the same age. He's like 36.
He's older than Crowder.
37?
Crowder's 32.
But I'm just
31.
saying.
Yeah.
Like you getting paid. There's roles for people like you.
Yeah. I'm disappointed in Crowder. Like you said before, we talked about it before. You said he's not being a good vet, right? So I'm disappointed in Crowder for not taking it upon himself to be a good vet. And I'm disappointed in him for taking it so personal that they want to give Cam Johnson a chance. Cam Johnson was their draft pick. They want to see what he can do. He's up for an extension.
Are we gonna pay him?
Are we gonna pay him? So in order to make that decision, you got to give the young guy some minutes.
Same.
So, and how does Crowder know that the Suns are even gonna like that decision of him being a starter? He might start into the first 10, 15 games. That don't work. The defense is a little bad. And they said, damn, listen, we're trying to win a championship here. Cam,
The
you might be
window is
better off the
closed.
bench. We got a year or two left for CP's window. We need to maximize this opportunity. Jay Crowder, we liked how you were in the starting lineup. Come back in. How does he know that's not going to happen in 10, 15 games? That's why I'm disappointed in Crowder. And I think he really put a stain on the team chemistry.
He might have put a stain on his career.
Yeah. If the right team doesn't pick him up. If he doesn't go to the Heat, because I think that's the only team that's really he's gonna start on.
Do they have a roster spot for him?
The Heat do. That's the only team. No other team I see him like really being the main starter, like undisputed starter. It's really the Heat. So I don't know what's going to happen. And they're going to have to get this trade done within the next 2 weeks. So it's definitely going to be, they're going to have to get some value for him. And it's going to be interesting where he ends up. But the Suns are definitely starting the season, starting training camp and the preseason on a sour note. And I just wish it would be better because I'm a little disappointed in Crowder. One of my favorite vets. So we'll see, man. New York Knicks. Let's talk about these guys coming into the season. Semi-optimism going on from the Knicks. Some people have optimism. Some people don't have any optimism. I feel like the Knicks fans are split on expectations. Picking up Brunson now. Some people calling him a savior. Some people are not. Media Day, he said all the right things. RJ said all the right things. D Rose said all the right things. Julius Randle said all the right things. RJ Barrett even went as far as to say, the Knicks are ready to shock the world, man.
Yeah, right. Yo.
He said they're ready to shock the world. Talk to me, Reed. The Knicks are going to shock the world. What's up? Talk to me.
The Knicks and the Knicks brass are the most delusional goddamn fans in the world.
Mm-hmm.
First off, and I always like the whole losing.
You know you're a closet Knicks fan too.
And that's the part that hurts the most.
I was about to say, we don't cover, please. You're a closet Knicks fan.
Because I goddamn don't miss too many games. but you know I have zero expectations. But keeping it real though, it's like they have no direction.
Yeah.
And that's their biggest disappointment. They said, oh, they wanted Mitchell, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the thing is to break down, but if you did get him, right? And I gave a stain, you know, I'm a Melo guy, right? So Melo came here and they said he didn't win, but he had less around him. But when he had more talent around him, he went further. Mitchell has had talent around him his whole career.
Yeah.
And has not gone anywhere. So you bring him to New York, the big lights.
You saying if they would have bring Mitchell?
If they would have brought him and gave away a lot of talent, he would have been playing with less than what he had in Utah.
Yes.
How would he be successful here?
So you saying
it was a good thing they struck out.
It was a good thing. Okay.
But the problem is they still have no direction. Tibbs is not playing the young guys. You trade draft picks for Cam Reddish.
No minutes.
No minutes. They have no plan for him, but you gave up real estate for him. Right?
Which I think is a mistake on
so
the
you have Quickly, D Rose. Now you signed Brunson. Still got Grimes. You still got what's the dude shooter?
Oh, Evan Fournier.
It's a logjam.
RJ Barrett.
So the thing is, you don't know what you have.
So you think they have no direction?
I think Tibbs is the issue. And the reason I say I can't blame Tibbs for wanting to win with what he knows can give him the best chance to win, which is vets. But the problem is eventually these kids are up for their extensions, their rookie contracts, whatever. And are you willing to give up talent without seeing what you actually have? You know what Julius Randle is.
Yes.
Right? The thing is, the media already know he's not getting an extension, nor is he...
Well, he just got one pretty much like 2 years ago.
He got signed. He got signed.
He got signed, yeah.
But after that contract, they're not moving on. They'll probably move on from him.
Oh, from Julius, you mean?
The thing is, you have Topping in the same position as him without knowing what he is with big minutes.
Yes, they haven't given him an opportunity.
So what do you have?
Mm.
So these same players are the same ages as the kids from Memphis, basically.
Who are you talking about?
All the kids, the whole team from Memphis. They're around the same age as all these players from the Knicks.
So you feel like the Knicks are on two different timelines? Like a Julius Randle timeline, and then
they don't know
everybody else?
They don't know which end they want to go with. Because they're giving all the vets minutes, but they're not winning.
But when you say vets, right? Who exactly are we speaking about when we talk about vets? Because I saw a lot of people saying that on Twitter too. Who are the vets that they really have? Julius Randle.
Now, but last
D Rose.
Last year they had D Rose. They had Alec Burke.
Oh yeah, Alec Burke.
Giving him minutes. They had Taj Gibson.
Yeah, okay. All right, yeah, that's true. Those guys, they were given minutes. So they are a little bit more youthful going into this season. Aside from Julius Randle, who's not really old, but...
Not saying, but you know what he is, though.
Yes.
He's had a couple stops to show
you
what
don't
he
think
is.
they need... You don't think he's the right vet to sprinkle in...
Not with his attitude last year.
Yeah, I didn't like
his You don't have a New York
stunk.
attitude.
Yeah, his attitude stunk last year.
It's not tough. It's not rugged. It's, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, all right, you got Brunson. Brunson is your guy.
By the way, why you on that? I kind of like that signing. I know it got a lot of heat, the Brunson signing, but I feel like the Knicks, I said it in my last episode, if you're going to try to steal a player away from a team that's better than yours, you're going to have to give up something. And you're going to have to overpay a little bit for him to get here because the team that he left, the Dallas Mavericks, are a better team than the New York Knicks are. So in order to entice that player to leave, you're going to have to overpay a little bit. So I didn't really mind the overpay that the Knicks were having if it leads them into the right direction. And I think Jalen Brunson is motivated enough to put the Knicks in the right direction.
The issue is, right, most players that come from a winning program, come here, it just goes left.
Yeah.
And that's the problem.
Well, I'm praying for the best with the new Knicks regime that they've washed that stain, the stink of Nick. Oh yeah, we forgot Reddish too.
But that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
There's no plan.
They're gonna have to move somebody.
And who do you move? Your best shooter is a guy that shouldn't be in your rotation. And that's Fournier.
Yeah.
He's the best shooter on the team alone, 40%.
D Rose is gonna have to get some minutes.
And D Rose is your most consistent player in the clutch.
And he said he's 100% healthy too. And then to top it all off, your number one option to me this season has got to be RJ. You got to give RJ the keys.
You paid him like it.
Yeah, you got to give him the keys. Julius Randle, I'm sorry, brother. Step back for you. It's time to take a step back. You're not the number one option on this team. They need to run that offense through RJ Barrett. I think he's ready for the challenge. I think he's up to the task. He played well going from January on last season towards the end of the year, average over 20. I think he can take the reins.
They need young voice. All the young teams are coming
Knicks,
up
man.
with young coaches, and they're all coming together.
You know what I got from this conversation talking about the Knicks? Question marks. Too many of them. Going into the season, I don't know where they are. I don't know if they're going to make the playoffs. I think they're going to fight to make the playoffs. I don't know if they're going to make it, though.
They're still going to be hooting and hollering in front of the garden. This is the best team.
You know, don't let them win game 1, too, because you remember last time when they won game 1.
They went like 5-2 or something like that.
They went wild in the beginning of the year. We're going to see. You know, Knicks fans get a little crazy.
They want me $100. Loser.
Come on. Don't put your bets on the Knicks, all right? I'll tell you that right now. Yeah, moving on to quick news on the team that Jalen Brunson left, the Dallas Mavericks. Quick thing for Media Day with them. The only thing that came out from their Media Day camp is that I found interesting is that basically Jason Kidd and their coaching staff said they're going to use Christian Wood, their signee or tradee this summer. They're going to use him as a sixth man to start the year and start JaVale McGee over him, which I think is
I like it.
Pretty interesting. You like it?
Yeah, I like it. JaVale gives more.
If he buys in.
JaVale's only good for 15 to 20 minutes.
Agreed.
He's high power, high energy.
Agreed.
Luka's going to find him on lobs. He's going to give a lot of defense on the other end. And they kind of don't have size. What? Kleber still there?
Kleber, Dorian Finney-Smith is going to be their power forward. And then they got a bunch of 2 threes jammed in.
Finney Smith is like a 7-8 point scorer.
Yep. Play good defense, Then they got Reggie Bullock.
And they just lost Brunson. Brunson was their second unit killer. But what did Brunson do?
So they're gonna have to obviously finish with Dinwiddie and Luka, but they're gonna start with Luka starting at point and Dinwiddie coming off the bench, I believe. And start a very big unit. I forgot who. Oh, Tim Hardaway Jr. is coming back. So it's gonna be Tim Hardaway Jr., I believe. Luka, Tim Hardaway Jr., Reggie Bullock.
I like Bullock.
Me too. I like Bullock. Finney Smith, and then JaVale McGee, and then Christian Wood coming off the bench. I like the approach. I think it's a different approach.
You could go JaVale and Wood at some point.
You can.
Oh, pause.
You can, and I don't think it's a bad strategy.
I think there's a lot of switchability in that unit. And then Jason Kidd is very smart.
Yes.
And he's very in tune with his roster because he was on one of the podcasts. He was just gloating about his team. It's a good energy with what's going on over there. And I think they could build with something.
Yes. I like the approach that they have also as well.
I do have Luka French MVP this year.
Yes, I think he's going to be up there. I think he's going to be up there. If they have the right regular season record, I think he's going to be top 3.
As he was last year.
Yeah. But
it's just getting the being in the top 3-4.
Absolutely. So moving on to another team that had a good media day, the Cleveland Cavaliers I want to touch on because I know you're high on them. So I want to get your thoughts on the Cleveland Cavaliers. Obviously, we know they made probably the biggest trade of the summer, I would say, picking up the sought after Donovan Mitchell. We knew he was moving off from the Jazz. How good can the how good can the Cavs be in the East in this season? Because they are I would say they are the wild card of the East because they can be either very good or they could be middle of the pack. So how you see this working out with Donovan Mitchell being their new sexy new piece that they're throwing in this roster with a lineup of Darius Garland, Donovan Mitchell, maybe Okoro, Evan Mobley, Jared Allen as they're starting five. How you feeling about this roster? Because you like them.
LeVert's still there. You like this roster. I really like it. I think it's solid all around. I think there's still a big unit.
Yes. Twin Towers with Mobley and Jared Allen.
We haven't seen that since Tim and David Robinson.
Actually, you notice we got 2 Twin Towers now in the league with Gobert and Cat and Jared Allen and Mobley.
Yeah, but Cat play like a guard.
Yeah, he do. Mobley can step out too, but he still plays inside and outside. Yeah. Like, we know he a little...
take Cat hard in your pocket.
For sure.
But I like everything about what they did because they didn't really lose much.
Yes.
Because Garland, he took over that franchise point guard role.
Yes.
So they invested the money in him.
He was an all-star last year, right?
Yeah.
Yes, he did win all-star.
So they have basically 3 all-stars. Now, 4.
4 all-star caliber players.
Players, yes. Yeah. So I like everything they got. Because, they play defense on the end. And I like it.
That sounds really good, having 4 all-star caliber
potential,
players. Potential. Yeah, that's really good. So if their chemistry is good, cohesion is right.
And they have the right coaching system because the coach is young.
JB Bickerstaff on that coaching staff. I really see the Cavs doing nice things, doing big things because they have a nice chemistry because it looks like they have the right spirit and they're all ready to work. Yeah. Ready to work hard. Who's going to be the number 1 option? Is it going to be Donovan Mitchell right away?
Yeah, more than likely.
Okay, so you think everybody else is going to be calm enough to take a step back?
He's learning his ways in the NBA because now the scouting report...
He was top 2 rookie of the year vote, no.
No, I get that part, but now the scouting report is based around him as well now. To actually get the ball out his hand. But now you have 2 other playmakers to defer to. So I like what they got.
Me too.
Me personally. And it's nothing to do with size. So the distraction level is not there.
They gonna be focused.
They're not going to Fashion Week.
Them boys gonna be focused, man. Them boys. Yeah, they will. So let's move on to another East team real quick that I wanted to discuss. I made a video about them in the last couple of days. The Philadelphia 76ers, man. I'm very high on this squad this year. Reeve was over here shaking his head. I feel like he's hating on these boys, and I'm not the biggest 76ers fan. But I like what they doing this year, man. I don't know if you noticed today, but on NBA TV, they had the real training camp on for like 2-3 hours. They had an open practice going on for the Philadelphia 76ers. So I got a pretty good look and I got some insight into how they run their practices and their mode or what they're projecting their type of game plans going into the season. And I really like what I saw, man. I like the pathway that they're going towards, and I like the renewed sense of seriousness in this roster of what I saw. And basically, I got a quote out of Media Day that Tyrese Maxey said that he said, Doc Rivers said to the whole team, right, when he had brought them all together in the meeting, he said, fellas, this year, it's not a we season. This is a we season, not a me season. Right? And I really like that quote from Doc Rivers because I think that's the mentality that this team has to have in order to accomplish the goals that they want to accomplish, because I think this team is about 10 deep, brother. I don't know why you sleeping on the 76ers, but I really like their offseason. I said they won the offseason. Why you don't like this roster? Because I like what they did.
Because their point guard never know what he looked like mid-season.
James Harden?
Yeah, you don't know what he's going to be
mid-season or postseason? He in shape right now.
That's why I said mid-season. when the game logs start climbing up there and he starts feeling a little lazy, and then he has all-star breaks, and you know he like the strip club and he like chicken.
Yeah, I hope he's focused, man. I think he got all that not out of his system, but I think he's gonna be a little bit more focused.
We've seen Melo coming to the season bony every year.
Skinny Melo, we say every year.
We've seen it every year, and then you get on the road and you start eating church's chicken.
Yeah, at least there's no James Harden fat suit we got going into this year, so I'll take that.
Well, my thing is health. It's always a concern with them. People play and be very physical.
Yes.
Doesn't get his just due.
Yes.
That so hinders him on being on the court. EJ, he's entering a new system. You know, he's an enforcer, but you know, what does he really have left?
Yeah.
And then Tobias.
Tobias is the key.
He's the biggest question mark for
He
me.
is. I know that's your guy, too. He's going to have to step up 10 and give at least 15
He was my
or 20.
guy his contract year.
Yeah.
He got paid and got soft.
Yeah.
But I don't know why you taking so much time like they're the best thing since sliced bread when you got the Clippers.
I'm just saying I like what they did.
When you got the Clippers.
I'm not sold on the Clippers yet. On our season preview, we're going to go in depth on the Clippers because I know you sold on them and I'm not sold on them. I think the 76ers are better than the Clippers.
They 12 deep. You say they 10, they 12 deep.
I don't think the 12 is that good. I think they're a good, strong 6.
Okay.
We're going to talk about that. So, other media day things really quick. I got to give a shout out. Jello. LiAngelo Ball signed a non-guaranteed deal to the Hornets. I like that. That'll be interesting to see how he pairs with LaMelo. They need a little bit of guard help over there. Some shooting over there. Lonzo, also some news with the other Ball brother. He won't be back for majority of the season. He's saying he's still having a lot of knee trouble. It's hard for him to run up the stairs, and they don't know. He's the biggest question mark for the Bulls, and we don't know when he's going to come back, and that's really going to affect the Bulls this season. And I think the Bulls lost a lot of stock this year. I'm not going to lie. He's important for their roster, and I don't know how they overcome his loss. They got Dragic. They signed a Dragon, but it's not the same. So
Definitely
I don't know how they're going to overcompensate for Lonzo's loss.
See, the thing with Lonzo is I don't really know what they missed because we haven't seen him in such a stretch.
Yeah.
Like he got better and he didn't advance on what he was getting with. So now he's just kind of keeping them in limbo.
Yeah, he's kind of afloat right now. And the Bulls, to me, might be the biggest question mark in the East, in my part, because I don't know.
I think they digressed.
They regress, yeah, because I don't know if they're going to play up to their potential. I don't know if they're going to still have more injuries, or I don't know if they're going to exceed expectations like last year.
They still aren't better than...
They're not better than a lot of those teams.
Then we didn't even talk about Atlanta.
In my season preview, they coming up too. I'm big on Atlanta. I think they're going to be... I think they're the most underrated team going into the season, Atlanta. I like their team.
Got 2 heartless guards.
I like their team. I might like Atlanta over the Bulls this year. Not going to lie. Lowest the keys. Yeah, so last but not least, my brother, we got before we close on out, we got to talk about the players who haven't signed yet. Now, it's interesting. Obviously, the elephant in the room, your boy, my boy, he's been a staple. We talking about him a lot here. We got to talk about Melo, man. Like I said, so he's one of the guys not signed yet. We don't know when he's going to sign. There aren't many teams on his radar. There are not a lot of teams linked to Melo. Is Melo going to get signed, Reem? Talk to me, man. What do you think? Is he going to get signed before the start of the season? Because it's training camp now, preseason coming up, basically right now. Is he going to get signed, man?
I think we might have seen the end.
Don't say that. The end?
It might be the end. Because it's two ways that kind of did his career. He decided to join teams that were deemed as front runners and didn't pan out. Kind of limited what he had left or what they perceived he had left versus him just playing on a roster like a CP3.
Yeah.
And given what he had and being noticed. Because once you start accepting league minimums, vet minimums, you don't really come out of that range.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And his production, if you look at his production and what his pay rate was,
he exceeded,
of course,
veteran minimum stats or
I think he was like
worthy.
5th or 6th as 6 men scoring, something like that. But it's like, you wouldn't know that because he actually slipped in the lineup last year for a losing team.
Yeah, he started to lose minutes too towards the end of the season.
THTs and these guys, like, it's crazy. But, you know, like, I think it'd be okay for him not to play. Because if he did turn around and play, it's not like he would get the credit as Carmelo Anthony.
But I still think there are teams that he can fit on.
No, I'm saying he can still play. But what I'm saying is winning at your apex versus being a player on the team just feels different.
But I feel like he is okay with accepting a lesser role. So I feel like that's out of the window that people used to say about him. He can't accept a lesser role. I think if you give him a distinct role, saying you are my backup 4 off the bench, 15 minutes, give me 10 points. Be okay with quite a few spot-up shots, an occasional post-up. I think he can work on a lot of teams. I got about 4 teams I feel like he could fit on.
But my thing is, right, as a basketball player, right, you're telling me where to limit me as a player.
I don't think it's limiting. I'm calling it just...
But you're coming into a situation telling me, I'm going to give you 2 or 3 touches in the mid-post. I want you to catch and shoot alone. But I'm a basketball player. Basketball itself is a reactionary sport.
True. And in rhythm also as well.
And he's a rhythm player.
Yeah.
Right? Who last year do you felt as though he should be playing 3rd or 4th or sometimes 5th man off the bench behind last year?
Well, on that team? He was probably the 3rd or 4th best scorer on that team.
He was seen to be the runaway in the beginning of the year as the 6th man. He got his tail yanked.
Yeah.
Because he's a vet minimum guy.
I just think they didn't know how to use him. And I think because he was on a team full of old guys, it made him look worse. I think if he's on a youthful team where he's one of the few vets on the team, I think it would be best for him.
Perfect. Because the 13, 14 he gave last year, whatever it was, 8 on a young team,
boom,
right? Looks
8 to 10
more
impactful.
Yeah, not even impactful, like a jolt of energy.
Yeah,
where Melo, he could end up with 40 if he get hot.
But and when Melo hits a 3, it's an impactful 3.
Yeah,
that's why I like it. So I like a team like the Suns for him. I like a team like the Heat for him. I like a team like
I really liked Boston for him.
I like Boston for him, but not anymore with Time Lord out. Because I think they have more pressing needs.
Well, with him coming back.
Time Lord?
Eventually.
That's in February.
They said 6 weeks.
8 to 12.
Well, they push it further.
8 to 12. Which is around a little bit before All-Star break, like January-ish.
They might be in trouble.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They might be in trouble. So they have other needs that they need to address. That's why there's only about 3.
Send them to my boys out of La La Land.
Oh, the Clippers? Love these Clippers, man.
Shit.
I don't know if they got minutes for him, but maybe. You never know. They might.
I don't see But we'll talk about it on an episode because Batum and Roko
Covington.
It's kind of redundant.
Yeah. They're gonna have some log jams there too, and some training camp issues that they're gonna have to deal with. So, other players that are not signed, also Kemba. I'm disappointed in Kemba's not signed yet. I think he could fit on a few teams. Blake Griffin not signed yet. LaMarcus Aldridge not signed yet. Miles Bridges not signed yet. Also, Bridges. So he messed up his career right now. So, yeah. So there's a couple of players still not signed. A couple of players that. They're gonna look at
Lemon Pepper Lou.
I think he's done for. I think it's a wrap.
He had a good run though.
Yeah, it's a wrap for him. It was a good run. So, like I said, training camp done now. Preseason coming up. We're gonna get a strong look at these teams in the next probably 2-3 weeks until the season starts in about 3 weeks, and then it's about to be on. It's about to be on. Damo gonna come back. We're gonna do a season preview. We're gonna talk about all these teams, and it's going to get sticky this year because a lot of teams can win. Not going to lie. A lot of teams can win. So I like what I'm seeing so far. You know, everybody's pretty happy media day. So the attitude and the emotions didn't come out yet. So we're going to see how this rocks out. Family, about to get on out of here. And I gave you guys a very lengthy episode on camera. Make sure you guys are checking it out on YouTube. Make sure you guys are downloading it as always. Make sure you're checking out the Above the Rim store as well. Make sure you're going to get your merch, getting all your good items. Make sure you sending me those reviews as well. Checking me out on Twitter. Following Reemo on Twitter. Checking out Rich Threads. Also, make sure your family's doing all of that. And family, I appreciate you for joining me once again. My boy Reem is back in the building. Dominique will be here soon. We're going to get the trifecta going. Thank you, family, for keeping it locked with me on this journey. I appreciate all the love and support as usual. Make sure you hit me up on Twitter and IG, Facebook as well. I told you hit up Reem with the hot takes. Let them know where you think Melo is going as well. Smoke session. Tell a friend. Tell a friend to tell a friend. This is episode 186, family. And we out.